Hey guys, it's Ashley. So I'm here. This is my second time trying to make this video. I was so angry, so upset, and I think I got myself more together this time. Um, but this is part two of my reaction to the documentary. It took me a while to watch this documentary to finish it because there's no way anybody could be prepared for something like this. I will never see anything the same anymore. Um, it is so heartbreaking, and it makes me so angry that this was made okay. I believe every single one of them should have gotten some type of punishment for allowing it to happen. Not only for allowing it to happen for as long as it did, for it as bad as it was. They should have gotten in trouble for as long as they've been doing it and allowing it to happen, for the death, because it is on their hands, and for false um reports that they not one you they didn't use the body chart because not one of them made the effort to look at him. Not one made the effort to make sure that he was okay. Um, and it is so frustrating because every single one of them knew what was going on. Every single one was told, and not one person. You see all these calls coming in, and nobody got any type of red flag to say, you know what, let me make sure. Let me make sure that he's okay. Let me make sure that what they're saying isn't true before I sit there and say they're fine. He's okay. Not one person asked if they could take a look around the house. Not one person stepped foot in the house, because if they did, there would have been so many signs of abuse and that something needed to be done. One thing that I do like, though, that I heard was that the teacher said that she's going to live with this regret for the rest of her life, and that she herself knows and understands that she did not try her best. I'm glad that she notices that, because next time if she was ever to come across it, maybe then she would actually put in her hardest and try her hardest and do her best to make sure that that kid is taken care of. Um, but it doesn't mean that. Did she do more than the rest? Yes, but she didn't do enough. The lady that was talking about that her coworkers were used as sacrificial lamb. Okay, that lady is completely ridiculous. And it angers me so bad that she was so quick to sit there and say, well, if I was a teacher this, I was a teacher that, I know for a fact that I wouldn't be letting my student go home knowing that they're getting abused. But the teacher went and told y'all, and not one of y'all sat there and said, well, let me go make sure, let me make sure he's okay. Not one of y'all stepped in and did your part, your job, something that you get paid for. You have to have a degree to work in something like that. And for what? Because your degree did not save his life. Your degree didn't make you better at your job. Like, you look dumb because you did nothing. Nothing. None of you did. All y'all can sit there and say is, well, we did our best, we did our job, da 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 da. No, you didn't. You didn't even take a step in your house, and as a caseworker, you were supposed to step in that house and take a look around the house and make sure that everything was okay, and you didn't do that. Your job was supposed to talk to the child, and you didn't do that. You were supposed to look at his body and interview him, and you didn't do that. You nowhere near did your best. You didn't put any type of effort, period, at all. And it angers me that they actually feel that way, and they sit there and feel that way. And like I said in the beginning, it makes me so mad because all they keep talking about is me, 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 me. But what about the kid? The kid that you help die. What about him? So that angers me. It angers me that watching the court and the boyfriend and the mom have no remorse. Not a tear was shed. It made me even more mad that the mom was reading this letter that she wrote to everybody, apologizing to everybody, but not once did she say, you know what, Gabriel, I hope that you find peace. I hope that you forgive me, because now I see what I did. Before I let life get the best of me, and I regret every single bit. No, you didn't say that. You just said, I'm sorry to my friends, to my family, and the people here. I'm sorry to my kids. And I hope you come to your senses. I hope you come to your senses. I don't know about any of you watching my video, but that didn't sound like she was sorry to me. I think the only sorry she is that she's sorry that she got caught. I think that if she could do it again, she would do it again, but do it better so she won't get caught. I think at the end of the day, I do believe that it was planned, because why else would she sit there and look through murder cases? I think it was planned. She's disgusting. She's not sorry, because it went from her trying to manipulate her boyfriend to tell the truth, all these different stories that was not the truth, and then make it into a sexual thing. Like, lady, you have way more problems up inside your head. You're where you're supposed to be. The rest of your life, you are where you're supposed to be. Because you out here in society, out in the community, you are no good. You are useless. Useless. The dirt on our ground is more worth being out here than you. It's just so upsetting that nobody had the balls to say, you know what, I messed up. I should have done it. I will take the consequences that are given to me. I will take your sentence, because you know what, I should have done better. I should have done better. No, instead that Jennifer chick is just standing there like, I don't know about y'all, but I shouldn't be here. I don't want to hear what y'all got to say, because I don't need to be here. Listen, girlfriend, you should have been there. You should have gotten something. And it makes me mad that they didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing. The system has not changed. It takes a life for maybe, if that, this much for it to change. For somebody to say, you know what, something needs to be fixed. Something needs to change. Something needs to happen. Because all these lives are getting taken. And it's not enough. Somebody needs to go, and they need to look at everything, inside out, lay it all on the table, look at all of it, analyze it. They need to look at it, and they need to fix it. They need to see where they messed up, where Gabriel and all these innocent little babies are slipping through their fingers, and see where nobody stepped up and did anything. Somebody needs to do something. This world, I would not blame God if he took us out tomorrow. I would not be upset, because us humans do not deserve I do not believe that humans deserve to be on this earth and for God to give us this life and we take it for granted. And here's everybody sitting here torturing all these poor animals and these kids and these elderly and everything, the special needs. We do not deserve here because we are tearing this world apart. And it angers me so much. Like, it doesn't take a degree for someone to sit there and say, you know what, this kid's being abused. We need to do something. I wish that they hired people who really care like me, who, even though they don't have a degree, so, because I guarantee you that if I was a part of that, if I worked there, that would have been stopped from the jump. That would have been stopped from the second that I got that report. I want to look into it. It makes me so mad. It makes me so mad because he didn't deserve it. None of these babies deserve the pain that these parents, because you know what? Let me tell you, the way that I see it, and I will tell you over and over, the way that I see it is just because you have a kid, it doesn't make you a mom. It doesn't mean that that's your right to be called a mom and a dad. I believe anybody who's willing to take care of this child, love them, care for them unconditionally, to support them mentally, physically, and emotionally, they are deserved to be called a parent. You're not a mom just because you had a baby. That's not your right. Your title of a mom, of a parent, is earned, not a right. This is what I believe, okay? I believe that for somebody to call you mom, you should be acting like a mom. You should be a mom. You should protect your kids. You should love your kids. You should feed your kids actual food. You should take care of them, clothe them, make sure that they're healthy, everything, in order for you to be called a mom. Because if you don't do that, you are not a mom and you shouldn't be called a mom. And this is something that I argue constantly because we have this family member that thinks that because they're her kids, she's their mom. But as far as I'm concerned, when they're sick, you don't take care of them. When they're sad, you don't take care of them. You don't cuddle them and make sure that they're okay. When they get hurt, you don't take care of them and make sure that they're okay. When they have bad dreams, you don't hug them and tell them it's okay. It's just a dream, baby. Everything's going to be okay because I'm here with you. It's not them. They're not the ones that take them to school, take them to the doctor's appointments, feed them, clothe them, bathe them. They're not the ones that go and take them shopping for their school clothes, their school supplies. It's not them. It's the family member that has them. So the fact that she would try to get forced to be called a mom, I fight with her. Dude, you're not a mom. The one who has them is the mom. That's their mom. So being a parent, being called a parent, being mom and dad, there's a lot more to that. And if you can't get the whole thing, all or nothing, if you can't get it all together, you're not a mom. You're not a dad. Nor do you deserve to be called one or to be one. And it upsets me that so many people are blessed to be able to bring a life into this world, to create life, and you take that blessing for granted. God didn't have to bless you for that. God didn't have to bless you with that. But he did. And you just can't, you can't seem to just love them because their love is so pure. And when they love you, They mean it. When they say they love you, they love you. Because whether they know it or not, they know what love is. And it angers me so bad that Gabriel loved his mom. Gabriel loved his mom regardless. He smiled in a picture with bruises on his face caused by his mom, and still called her mom, and still said how much he loved her. It angered me that he thought that he was a bad kid, because she led him on to think that he was, and that he deserved what he got. It made me mad that he felt like he should take his own life because that was the only thing that would make her happy with him. Everything was planned. I truly believe it because of her curiosity with murder cases. I believe they did it on purpose because of how they reacted in their court. He deserved the death penalty, 100%. The mom deserved it. All the caseworkers and everybody that got involved, they deserved to lose their job and more, but they didn't get it, and more. They deserved and more. And these coward of cops, you walk around acting big and bad, but you can't even come and say something for the documentary. You couldn't even come do an interview. You walk around with a badge on your chest and a gun on your hip, but you couldn't make sure that this kid was safe. You've been called out to go check on him, but you did not go check on him. You did not make sure that he was okay. You did not try to even help him. He needed help. He needed a way out because he had nowhere to go and he couldn't get out. He was literally locked in a little box. And you couldn't stop and take the time to make sure he was okay. You couldn't go into his house and talk to his parents, investigate, and make sure he was okay. No. But the one that did see him, the one that did talk to him, put him in the back seat of his car and threatened him. He helped the parents with that torture. So yeah, like they said, you should feel embarrassed. You should feel embarrassed, and that isn't even the least you should have. Because it should be way more. You should be in that courtroom getting charged too for allowing it to happen. You should have lost your job. But you didn't. You still have your life and your job, and you think that it's such a horrible thing to be so embarrassed because you let it happen. But yet you still have your life. Just like the attorney said. I think that they could, how did he say? He said, I think that they could handle being a little embarrassed because they have a life and he doesn't. He died. But you worried about being embarrassed. Y'all are stupid. Y'all are just as dumb as his parents. I'm going to start calling them monsters because they're not his parents. I mean, that's not a parent. And it's so sad because when people make mistakes, we're young, we're dumb, we make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You know, we do things that we just don't think about the consequences when we're younger. And a lot of us, even as they get older, you don't realize what the severity of the consequences. So you get yourself in trouble. You think that everything's good, whatever. You think you're big, you're bad, whatever the case may be. You end up in jail. And that's what sucks for his dad, because he made a mistake and he was in jail. He wasn't able to be there to help protect him. And he takes a lot of that blame on his shoulders, onto himself. And it makes me sad because I can't even imagine him feeling the way that he feels, knowing that in a sense he allowed it to happen because he wasn't where he was supposed to be, because he went and got himself in trouble and got himself locked up. Excuse me, I hiccuped. So it's kind of sad, but he still has his life. Gabriel and all these other babies don't. And I will not say it enough how much this system needs to change. And it's so crazy that the nurse who only saw him for a few minutes had more love for him and compassion, sympathy for this child that she didn't even know than his own mom. And I'm glad that somebody could honor him on his birthday like she says she does, because now maybe that he's in a better place, because I believe that when we die we go to heaven or hell. I mean, his mom is going to hell and she's going to feel the fire of hell for all eternity. So I hope she's ready for that. But, and I'm pretty sure that, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. But I believe that we live on after we die. We leave our shell of a body. Our body's our shell. We leave our shell and we move on as spirits and live on for eternity, right? I do believe that we can be reborn. With God's permission, right? So, at His will and when He wants us to. So it makes me feel better. Like, it makes me feel happy that He could see that and feel that, because when He was here on earth, He wasn't able to feel that. He wasn't able to see it. He didn't know what it felt like to be loved by His mom. I don't know. I think his grandparents should have left him with his uncle. They should have left him. I think they should have fought harder for him so he would end up with his mom. Because I believe that they could have done more. I believe that not just that, his aunt and uncle that you saw mostly in the documentary, they could have done more. See, all these people, all these family members, they knew what type of person she was, but yet everybody stayed back here. What good are you back here when everything that's happening is up here? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I guess it's just like, I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around how dumb this system and how broken this system is. I can't wrap my head around every single one of these people. Every single one of these people, and not one person helped him. I'm just so infuriated. It makes no sense. It is so dumb. And I don't see why lives should be taken, especially at that extent, for something to even get looked at twice. And then, with it being said, I don't get how it's not fixed already. How many people, how many kids have to die for this system to get fixed, for something to happen, for something to be put in place better for these kids, for the safety of these kids, so that way they could be. I get that there's a lot of kids in the system And there's so many people out there willing to step up, and a lot of these kids, they age out of the system. I get that. But I think that there should, this is what I believe this so strongly, and I would say it, is that if you mess up, you got a record, you ain't taking care of your kids, your kid gets taken away from you, I think that it should be mandatory that these moms and dads get fixed. Get fixed and stop multiplying. That will cut down all the kids going into the system, because a lot of these kids, like her, she didn't have her kids the whole entire time. And I believe that if they would have taken the older kids away, and the court said, you know what, you need to get fixed, you are not going to be allowed to have any more kids, Gabriel would have never had to have gone through this. He would not have been tortured, beaten, and killed if she would have been stopped at her tracks. A lot of these kids, a lot of these parents, they get their kids taken away and they're out there making more. There's one that I know that here from where I know her. And she gets her kids taken away. She's in and out of prison, in and out of jail. She's on the run as we speak. Don't have her kids. But she's allowed to continue to multiply, because I don't know how many times she left her, how old is she, 12 years old, by herself, in Minnesota? She ran off to Minnesota, left her there with random dudes. This girl's in the drugs and everything, and this is what she's on the run right now. I just found out she's on the run right now, and her kids, and she shouldn't even have her kids. As a matter of fact, I think their dad had them. I don't even know how she got them. That's how stupid and broken the system is. And she still, even though a family member of mine took 2 of her kids, okay, so long story short, she was their nail tech. She didn't want her kid, or she needed a babysitter, and eventually just never came back for her. The only time she would come back for her is for income tax. Okay? Claim on income tax. This family member, she ended up pregnant again. So she didn't want the baby. But the family member, again, like Gabriel's story, they convinced her to keep the baby, and she wanted the baby, and she'll take the baby. So she did. Again, didn't want anything to do with the baby. She was in and out of jail. Income tax season comes around. She comes out just in time. All of a sudden, she wants to be mom for income tax season. Claims him, gets that money. After a few days, she goes and drops him back off. Traumatized. So my family member decided that they were going to go ahead and fight. Okay, no more. You're not taking these kids no more. Custody was granted to my family member. She didn't like it. But you know what she did? She didn't stop there, because she had 3 kids before the 2 that my family member took. She ended up losing them to their dads. And she went and had 2 more after the 2 that my family took. So she's allowed to have all these kids and not take care of them. The system is broken. If you lose your first child, I believe that if you lose your first child, you need to be fixed. You need to be fixed. And if somewhere in there you grow up and you're able to prove that you have became a better person, then you could adopt a child. Over time, of course, with all these obstacles that you have to go through to make it not be easy at all. Make it very hard for them to have to get a child. But if you get your kids taken away, I believe you should get fixed. Men and women. I don't think that they should be allowed to continue multiplying and making babies and them not take care of them not love them and give them the life that you signed up to give them because you didn't protect yourself. I don't believe in abortion, so I don't think abortion should even be allowed. I'm glad that it's not legal. Where I'm at anyways. I believe that they need to be fixed. Before the issue becomes an issue, they need to be fixed and the issue be taken care of. That future issue needs to be taken care of. And I believe that if they did that, there would be less kids dying, less problems, and less people going to prison. You don't have to build such bigger prisons. Things would be different. They say these parents need a better support system. They do. But if they don't have it, then, you get what I'm saying? It's the same. It's just going to be recycled. You could say that this is what needs to happen, that they need a better support system, but they're not going to get one. The reality is a lot of them are not going to get it. So what I think needs to happen and these courts need to start doing is if you have to remove a child from them, they need to get fixed. Period. So they don't have to put them through all the stuff that they put the first one through, or even worse. Like, again, Gabriel's. Because it wasn't said that the two older ones had a worse life than him. It was proven that his life was way worse than theirs, and he was the youngest. And it's so sad. She didn't want him. There was some type of disconnect there that she couldn't love him, and she didn't want him, and it made her just click. All she wanted was the money. That's all she wanted. And you know what? A lot of these freaking people, that's all they want is the government money. And that would save a lot of the taxpayers' money as well, because they're not the ones supporting them. The government's not actually supporting them. Us taxpayers are. They need to get fixed. There needs to be something done. And it needs to be changed. The system needs to be changed. There's a whole lot of work that needs to be done. And there's not enough people looking into it and getting it done. So that's just how I feel. Another thing that I feel is CPS is a joke. I just wanted to just add that in there and actually say that they're a joke. I could tell you stories after stories about CPS and my encounters with CPS as a person making a report, and it's exactly what that lady said. They're a joke. You could go and make as many reports as you want. What's really going to be done? It's the same thing, like everything. It's real. CPS is a joke. They don't do nothing. I've even one time called CPS on somebody, and what happened? I got yelled at. They literally, in a sense, ran me out of my job that I loved. I didn't get paid anything for it because it was a daycare. But they, as a group, they ran me out because even though that CPS, when you make a report, it's supposed to be confidential, it ain't confidential. These CPS workers, they will go to the first person that they run into and they'll start telling everything. Seen it myself. These people are ridiculous. I have yet met anybody that works with CPS that is trying to make a difference, a change, and trying to actually help people, help kids at that. I've yet met one. They're all jokes, all of them. I dislike them. Oh, you work for CPS. I'll probably just laugh at you. That's just my feelings of the ones that I came encounter over here where I'm from Gabriel's thing. So if those of you who work for CPS and you actually do your job, keep it up and keep pushing for it. Keep pushing to do the job, and you push everybody around you to do it too. Get them moving. But I don't know if any of you exist. I mean, I could be wrong. But like I said, for what I came in contact with, it's a joke and it's a waste of time. But With that being said, though, at the same time, I still would, if anything was to happen, I would still call it in. I would still, because in hopes that maybe somebody will do something, eventually something will be done. Um, at the end of the day, you still want to report, you still want to make them calls in, you still want to report everything you see, you hear, and you come across, because in the courts eventually all that's going to come up, just like it did for Gabriel. You know what I mean? Like it's still going to be some type of proof, and show that you made that effort, and that you made that that effort to make a difference, to change the outcome. So don't, just because we feel a certain way about CPS, I will always say report, 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 report. Do not stop reporting. You ride them. You ride them until they do something. You bug them until they do something. And if you have to, like I did, you have to go to their supervisor, then their supervisor, and you have to move on up on that chain, move up. Do not ever stop. Do not ever give up. And if you still don't feel to do something, there's hotlines, there's all kinds of numbers, there's somebody out there that will do something. So don't ever not report. Always report. Always report. And don't give up until you see something done. I mean, I a few houses down, there's a dog that these people, they had this dog, and he was always matted, didn't have food or water every time I passed by. His chain was short, not a dog house or anything. And I reported them over and over and over until I saw something get done. I wouldn't. Are the shelter here too? Are they a joke? Most definitely. But I'm not going to stop reporting, because I'm going to make that report, and I'm going to push somebody to do something. Because if they have the means to do it, I'm going to make them do it. And I'm going to make them get so angry and hate me until they do it, just so I could shut up. That's the way I feel. So don't ever give up on reporting. Report, get it done, and push that person to make that change. They sign up for it. They know what they are getting themselves into. They chose that job. The job didn't necessarily just go around and say, you know what, hey, you got a degree? Yes, okay, well, you're working with us. That's not how the job works. They go, they fill out the application, they go to school for it, they go and they say yes to the job, and they work there. Nobody's forced to do their job. Not here in the United States. Everybody chooses their job. So if you have to push that person to do it, push them. Don't ever stop. You keep going, you keep calling, and you keep reporting. And like I said in the last video, you pray for everybody who's getting abused, who is hurt, and who's been abused, and who died, and who lost their life. You pray for them, because you know what? Prayer is a big thing, and through God, anything is possible. And who's to say, yes, is it tiring? Yes, is it extra load for your daily life and your living? Yes, it is, but at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it. And you should always keep reporting, and continue to report until it's done, until you see a difference and you see something is done about it. Because all it takes is for one person to step up, and it'll make that big of a difference in somebody's life. So that teacher, I believe she should have kept calling until somebody did something. And if it didn't get done, I would have kept him from going home, and I would have done something else. I would have seen what else I could do, and I would report my principal. I would have reported everything. Everybody, I would have dragged every single person down until something got done. I would make more weight on their back until they chose to do something about it for it to get released. So again, just report, and keep fighting for what you believe. Speak up when you need to. And yeah, this is my last reaction, my thoughts, my feels about everything in general, because of it. Is it like a traumatizing video? If you haven't seen it, yes, it's changed a lot of people's life. It's changed mine. It's changed my view of everything and everyone. It makes me want to be a better person, and um pay more attention to my surroundings. When I'm at the store, I want to pay attention to more things. And I'm not saying, like, if somebody's like, no, you're being a bad girl or bad boy, don't be touching nothing, go and report them. No. But if you see some physical abuse, and you know that deep down inside your soul you feel that they're in pain, and you know that their pain was caused by who they're supposed to count on to protect them, yes, report 100%. Always report. But it's opened my eyes. It makes me want to be a better person. It makes me want to push and pay more attention to my surroundings. I want to look. I look at everybody. I'm watching their how they talk to their kids and how they talk to this person. I'm being more observant, for sure. For sure, I'm being more observant, because I want to be a part of this change for Gabriel, because I think if there was enough people doing that, Gabriel wouldn't have to have gone through it. Not Gabriel, not Brianna, none of them. None of them babies would ever have to be a part of it. And God forbid I even come across anybody abusing anybody. Because like I said before, may God have mercy on you, because I won't. So, with that being said, thank you. Before I sign off, I want to say thank you to everybody who's saw my other videos and my part 1 of my reaction to the trials of Gabriel Fernandez. All your kind words and your thoughts, and I hope all of you subscribe and kind of get to know me more. I have different ideas of all these different kinds of videos. Right now, the ones that I've done is like spur of the moment. I do have a few other recorded ones that I want to post. I hope you stick around and kind of get to know who I am. I hope you enjoy all my videos and subscribe to me. And again, thank you so much for all your kind words. And I hope we become friends and you stick around and yeah, and do the right thing. So with that said, my video is like super long, but thank you for your time. Thank you for coming by, and I will see you on the next video.